Imagine growing up in a village where one of the most important traditions involves fighting your friends with thorny pandan leaves.
Full on look in the pot.
Ew, that's good.
It might sound unusual, but for the people of Tenganan Village in East Bali, this tradition has been passed down for generations. This is Mekare-kare, more commonly known as the Pandan War.
Oh, got a chicken.
Every year, locals and visitors gather to witness one of Bali's most unique cultural traditions, a ritual that celebrates courage, community, and heritage.
Give it a go. That's really good actually. It tastes like the inside of dada gulung.
But we don't come here that often anyway, so
So this is grandma's house?
yeah.
To understand Mekare-kare, you first need to understand Tenganan. Tenganan is one of Bali's oldest villages, and it's home to the Bali Aga people, the island's original inhabitants. Unlike many other parts of Bali, the village has preserved traditions, customs, and ways of life that date back centuries. Because of this, many of the ceremonies practiced here are unique to the village and remain an important part of daily life. Walking through Tenganan feels different. The layout of the village, the traditional homes, and the sense of community all offer a glimpse into a side of Bali that many visitors never experience. The Pandan War takes place during a larger festival known as Usaba Samba. While Mekare-kare is not the most well-known part of the celebration, it is only one piece of a much bigger cultural event. The festivities include ceremonies, offerings, music and gatherings that bring the entire community together. Months of preparation often go into these celebrations. And while visitors may only witness a few hours of activity, the cultural significance stretches far beyond what happens inside the arena. And one of the most anticipated parts of the festival is Mekare-kare. Participants use bundles of thorny pandan leaves as weapons and a small woven shield for protection. At first glance, it looks like a battle. But this tradition is not about winning or losing. It's a symbolic ritual held in honour of Dewa Indra, the Balinese Hindu god of war. The event celebrates bravery, strength and respect, values that have been passed from one generation to the next. One of the things that stood out the most throughout the entire day was the atmosphere. Traditional music echoed throughout the village. Families gathered together. Children moving through the crowds, elders watching from the sidelines, and everywhere you looked, there was a sense of pride in keeping these traditions alive. It didn't feel like a performance. It felt like a community celebrating its identity. Before the battle begins, participants prepare together. Friends talk and laugh as families watch on. Visitors gather around the arena. Despite what's about to happen, the mood feels more like a celebration than a competition. There's excitement in the air, but also a deep respect for the tradition itself. One of the most important parts of a festival like this is what they teach the younger generation. Young boys grow up watching the older participants take part in Mekare-kare. They in turn learn the meaning behind the ritual, the value that it represents, and the role that they will one day play within the community. In many ways, the festival becomes a living classroom where culture is passed from one generation to the next. Once the battle begins, pairs of participants enter the arena. Armed with thorny pandan leaves, they attempt to strike their opponent while defending themselves with their woven shield. The thorn leaves scratch across shoulders, backs, and arms. And for many visitors, it can appear very intense. But what makes Mekare-kare unique is what happens after the battle. There's no celebration of victory, no disappointment in defeat, no grudges. Instead, participants embrace one another and continue with the day's festivities. The focus has never been about defeating an opponent. It has always been about honouring tradition. After the battle, the scratches are traditionally treated using local remedies prepared by the community. The wounds are accepted as part of participating in a ritual. It's another reminder that this tradition is not about causing harm. It's about preserving a cultural practice that has existed for generations. While the men take part in the fighting, the wider community plays an equally important role throughout the festival. Families, elders, and village members all contribute to the celebrations. Although it might look like it, the event is not simply about the battle itself. It's simply about preserving culture, strengthening community bonds and maintaining traditions that have shaped life in Tenganan for centuries. Bali continues to evolve. Tourism has transformed many parts of the island and introduced Bali to the world. Yet villages like Tenganan demonstrate how communities can embrace the future while still protecting their heritage. Traditions such as Mekare-kare have survived, not because they were frozen in time, but because each generation has chosen to keep them alive. That commitment is what makes cultural events like this so remarkable. For me today, as a spectator, what stood out the most wasn't just the Pandan War itself. It was seeing how the entire community comes together around a shared tradition. The ceremonies, the preparation, the conversations, the music, the sense of belonging. Moments like these offer a deeper understanding of Bali beyond places that most tourists visit. Bali is famous for its beaches, resorts, and landscapes. But experiences like this reveal another side of the island. It's a side that is shaped by history, community, and tradition. And for the people of Tenganan, this is not a performance for visitors. It is an identity. It is heritage. It is a tradition they are proud to protect. Perhaps that's what makes places like this so special. They remind us that there is always more to Bali than what most people ever see.